Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to do the Cheeky seat cover install from Cheeky Seats, and to show you what it's supposed to look like, this is the website, and allegedly, once you get the seat cover on, it looks like that. I'm going to be doing the tailored whiskey cover. There's also comes in the black, which is pretty badass, and lastly the ox blood. But like I said, today we are doing the whiskey, hand-tailored whiskey scooter saddle cover. So I wrote the guys at Cheeky Seats, and they sent me some swatch samples. So here you've got the black. That's matte black. That's kind of the thickest of them all. Matte black, for those of you who can't hear. And this is the ox blood, which is kind of red. I was considering that one, but I think it might be harder to color match. There it is, ox blood. And then the one that we're going to be using today is whiskey. And there's the swatch there. I'm so glad that they sent that out to me. That made my decision much easier. And this is the seat that we're going to be covering. This is the original GTV Vespa seat from a 2007 GTV 250. As you can see, it's been well used. If you're a leather aficionado, that's not necessarily a bad thing. When I first got it, I thought it was kind of gross and didn't like it, but I've grown to love it. But let's see if we can spice things up a bit with the Cheeky Seats seat cover. Here's the tools that you'll need. You'll need a 10 millimeter, gosh, I'm at a loss for words. You'll need a 10 millimeter wrench to take the seat off, and then to take off some other pieces. And then you'll need a Allen wrench to take the seat off of the plastic. And here's the fun part. I've never done this before, so we're going to be enjoying this adventure together. So here's my package that I got from Cheeky Seats. It comes in 2 Ziploc bags and an awesome, nice little thank you note there. Handmade from Susie and Rafu. These guys are pretty awesome, I guess. And a little card. That's a nice little drawing. So, with no further ado, let's get on this. I think I read the instructions somewhere once, but first let's take a tea break. Alright, so step 1, take the seat off of the bike. Hopefully you've done this before. This is let me put it this way. If this was on the bike, these are the screws that holds the seat to the bike frame. Just take those out with a 10 millimeter wrench. Bike's outside right now. And bring the sucker inside. And the instructions say that it's much easier to do this project if you take the seat off of the plastic frame. But before I want to get into that, I'm doing things out of order. I just wanted to let's inspect the actual material. Looks kind of neat. It matches the swatch exactly. It's got the double piping that ought to be pretty badass once it's on there. And here's what it looks like on the inside. The instructions say to line this up with the edge of the seat for best fit. So that's the first piece. The second piece is just like it. We'll get to that in a second. And now the moment of truth. where I start taking my seat apart. And we'll see how this goes. Pretty simple. Don't lose your parts, as my dad always used to say. So, there's one. And then the last one. These are all identical, so I don't think it matters if they're staged in the right order, but we've got one. Let me just make sure that we keep these together. 2. I'll just set these aside here. 3, 4. Like I said, they're all exactly the same, so I'm not going to worry about keeping them in order. And now, allegedly, it separates from the plastic. And would you look at that? So far, this is really exciting for me. I get excited easily because I've never done this before. But I think this is an excellent opportunity to maybe clean this sucker up a bit. What do you say? So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to get some cleaning supplies and we'll give it a go. Alright, we've got my professional cleaning tools. Everyone's favorite all-purpose cleaner and a paper towel. And so first I want to get some of the dust off of this. But we've got a special treat today. So if you just hang in there. I guess I could clean the whole thing. But really, no, people are only going to see the sides. So let's use that old noggin and save us some work. But like I said, I've got a special treat for us today. And this treat is called Black Wow. If you've ever heard of Black Wow, you already know where this is going. If you haven't heard of Black Wow, well, you're in for a treat. This is developed by a good friend of mine, Richard Lynn, from, I don't know what his company's called now, but this is a plastic enhancer, is what I'm going to call it. And works on anything plastic. It's for cars and stuff, but I don't see why it wouldn't work on here. So first, let's just give her a little dab there. It'll make you say wow every time. And we're just gonna dress up this plastic here and see if we could get this looking like new. And the thing about Black Wow is a little goes a long way, they say. I kind of overkill because I like my shit pretty shiny. So now you can already see, maybe you can't see, but you can see that that's looking completely different already. And that's why they call it wow. There we go. And so you see how that goes. You kind of know where this is headed, right? I'll go ahead and do the other side. Oh, and it also smells good too. Gosh, what is this guy's company called? ShowCarDetailing.com is where you can get his products. Also on Facebook, Showcar Detailing. He does a lot of write-ups and visual write-ups of the cars that he works on. And, you know, he's truly, I'm no expert, but I know an expert when I see one. And he's probably one of the best detailers and paint restorers of our time right now out there in Orange County, California. If you could get out there, just look up ShowCarDetailing.com. He's also on Facebook. And if you got the cash, I mean, I'm not going to lie, he's not cheap. He's not cheap. But let me put it this way. the Tesla dealer down in Southern California, when the cars come off the line and off the truck, they drop them off straight to his shop before they put them on the showroom floor. He's the real deal. Richard Lynn's his name. Restore and paint is his game. Sorry for the dad jokes. I'm getting prepared for the inevitable when it's okay to tell dad jokes. So, lastly, let's just do the back here. I'm gonna put on just a little more dab. Not that kind of dab. Because really, I think the part that people are gonna see the most is this. And, again, I'm no expert. So that's one thing I wanted to do while the seat was off. Just to kind of freshen up the plastic there. And so this seat comes off of the 250 GTV Vespa, previously owned by a good friend of mine who I bought off of, who bought it off of a well-known Vespa and scooter figure in the Bay Area, who shall go nameless. But if you recognize the seat, then you know who I'm talking about. And let me tell you, the previous owner kept this bike in such awesome shape, it's ridiculous of how great it looks. So there it is, we've freshened up the plastic there. I'm just making sure there's not much residue. And the thing about Black Wow, I mean, I could show you my car, is it's gonna look like this for a long time. And by that I don't mean several weeks, I mean months. And that's why this little bottle here, I think, honestly, I feel like I got this bottle in 2004 or 2005. And, you know, maybe twice a year I use it on my car. And now I'm using it on my bike. And it'll make you say wow every time. So there's that part that I wanted to do while the seats were off. And that brings us to the next part of our project. I noticed that this chrome, quote unquote chrome, is looking kind of raggedy, and never had a chance to get to it to see what we could do about that. But now that the seat's off, maybe we'll just give that a quick little wipe. And again, no point in getting too crazy about this since it's plastic. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave those off too. Give that guy a little wipe. And then the second one, cause hey, you know, how many times are you gonna take your seat apart, right? Alright. Okay, so we're about ready to go. I'm just gonna dust this guy off. And the instructions say that you can staple it down. But we're not gonna do that today, because the thing that's supposed to make this product so super awesome is how easy it is to install. So let's move along to the next phase of our project. So again, this is the front piece. Here's the cover right here. And allegedly, it's gonna go on and it's gonna look super badass. So, they say go back to front. So we'll, and also these guidelines, she says, are supposed to help line that sucker up. So, let's just start here. And we'll just pull this guy on. And the interesting thing about the internet age is I got the instructions on how to put this on way before the product arrived. And it also came with some links to some videos off their website. So supposedly this line right here is what I want to get onto the edge there. So I'm just going to give that a little tuggy tug. Seems like a tight fit, but we'll see. Tight fit there. And there we go. Line that sucker up. And now it kind of fits a little better now that we've done that. And so there's that. And I don't know about here. Oh, you didn't see that. That was bad camera work on my part. Apologies. So speaking of camera work, today we're using the first generation GoPro. Because I'm cheap like that, and it was $119. So you could see, well, maybe you can't see, but I can see where this is starting to line up. The crease right here is matching on that side, but not necessarily on this side. So let me try and move it over a bit. And okay, there's that. So far so good. They say it wrinkles up a bit, but once you get the thing put on, they recommend that you let it sit in the sun for a while, which is probably the opposite of what you'd expect. So now the super secret trick, they say, is now we've got this guy, and how's that work? Pull it. I don't know how you lock that in. Pull on there. Super snuggy. And that's supposed to keep this guy on just like that. Maybe. There you go. And that's the part one. Again, we'll see if that comes together like the picture. The edges are pretty much lining up there. I'll put these guys back. They just sit there, right? And did I do that right? I don't know. I think they just sit there. And let's get on to number 2. And again, they say try from the back. Start from the back. Wait, is it backwards? Start from the back, they say. And then move it up. Their videos are not quite as long as this one, but like I said, I wanted to walk you through the full process, with the exception of taking it off and putting it back on the bike. So this one went on a lot easier. There's a lot less details to worry about. There it is. That looks pretty slick right there, yo. And we'll just get these the piping to line up a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. And just like that, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a little tuggy tug. And that should keep it on there. Alright, so let's see what we've got so far. Not too shabby. If we can get this wrinkle out here. Let me work on that some more. I think this can use a little more tuggy tug here to get that right there on the edge. And I can still see that it's got room over here for improvement. And again, the advantage of this is you're not in a rush, not getting paid by the hour. It is a UV protected vinyl, so if you spill a Coke on it, it's not like you ruined your leather seat. This corner right here is getting on my nerve, but maybe we can tighten that up a bit some more. Yeah, you could spill a Coke on it, and you're not going to have to slap somebody in the face. Alright, so that's what it looks like so far. Here it is on the internets. I hope the angle's right there for you. And there's the next photo of it. I guess we're getting kind of there. And then kind of like the clear shot. And that's what it looks like on the web page. So I guess now we get to put this bad boy back together. A little bit better, but I guess not. And then the fun process of putting this back together. Yeah, so far so good. Even a caveman can do it. Where's my tool here? And of course I'm not gonna tighten it up too much. Just enough to know that it's getting in there. Alright, there's that guy. And you know what happens next, so let's fast forward through this a little bit, because this is the boring part. Alright, so hit that fast forward button, Tony. Come on. You're blowing my ratings. Alright. Preliminary look. Oh, that's making me not cool. But that's what it looks like, fellas. There's the front there. Not too shabby. Here it is from the back. Here's the other side. Not too shabby. Totally. See, I screwed up. I had the opportunity to clean this out, and I didn't. And now I'm going to have to get back in there. So we got this one last screw to put in, and then we'll put it back on the bike and see how it looks. Alright, there it is, fellas. Let's go put it back on the bike.